What would you do if someone accused you of stealing your own car? One man stayed silent while being publicly humiliated in front of his new neighborhood, but what happened next left everyone speechless. The shout cut through the quiet suburban street like a gunshot. "Get your hands off my car. Now." Marcus Henderson, wearing a navy suit that screamed money and authority, stormed forward with his finger pointed like a weapon. The young man in the red Christmas sweater didn't move from where he stood beside the blue sedan. He just stayed there, calm, almost unnaturally still. Within seconds, doors started opening. Neighbors emerged onto porches, some already holding up their phones to record. This wasn't the kind of neighborhood where confrontations happened often, which made it all the more magnetic when they did. "I already told you," Marcus continued, his voice rising with each word, "this isn't a parking lot for strangers. If you lean on my car one more time, I'm calling the police and making sure you regret ever stepping foot in this neighborhood." James Walker, 32 years old, black, wearing that red Christmas sweater, said nothing. He simply looked from the aggressive finger to the car beside him, his expression unreadable. "What, you playing deaf now?" Marcus shouted. "Look at me when I'm talking to you. People like you only come here to cause problems. People like you." The phrase hung in the air like smoke after a fire. Some neighbors looked down at their feet. Others kept filming from a safe distance, as if acknowledging what was happening would make them complicit. Perhaps that was the moment someone could have stepped in, before things escalated beyond repair. Marcus Henderson was 45, a lawyer, and the loudest voice in the homeowners association. He loved reminding people that he paid premium property taxes and deserved premium treatment. To everyone watching, James was just some stranger leaning against Marcus's car. He didn't look like he belonged there. No expensive watch, no luxury SUV, just a simple red sweater and an almost suspicious level of calm. That was apparently enough to mark him as a threat. Marcus pulled his car key from his pocket and dangled it in front of James's face. "See this? This car costs more than everything you've ever owned in your entire life. You think it's cute to pretend you belong here?" His laugh echoed down the street, sharp and cruel. James took a slow breath. "I was just finishing a phone call. I didn't touch anything of yours." Marcus pointed to an old scratch on the door. "Liar. You're going to pay for this. This isn't some ghetto. This is a respectable community." A little boy tugged on his mother's sleeve. "Mom, he was just standing there." She shushed him immediately and pulled him back. "That's it," Marcus growled, pulling out his phone. "I'm calling the HOA president right now. Today you're going to learn the difference between your world and mine." James lifted his eyes slowly. "You sure that car's actually yours?" The silence that followed felt like the air had been sucked out of the street. Marcus let out a short, bitter laugh. "Of course it's mine. You think I'd be yelling about a borrowed car?" James shrugged. "Strange. The paperwork I signed says something different." At that exact moment, a black SUV pulled through the gate and stopped a few feet away. Out stepped Richard Cooper, the HOA president, and a woman in a beige blazer carrying a leather portfolio. Some neighbors recognized her. She was from the real estate development company that had been buying up properties on the block. She walked directly to the two men. "Good afternoon, gentlemen. We're here to finalize the paperwork with Mr. James Walker." Marcus pointed at James, his face twisted in disbelief. "Finalize? This guy is leaning on my car. This is a gated community, not some street market." Richard cleared his throat. "Mr. Henderson, please?" "Please nothing," Marcus cut him off. "Are you seriously defending a trespasser?" The woman opened her portfolio with practiced ease. "Mr. Walker, here's your final copy. As of today, you are the legal owner of property 141, including the assigned parking space and the vehicle registered to Lot 16. She handed the documents directly to James. The murmuring among the neighbors grew louder. Marcus's face went pale. "Lot 16 is mine," he stammered. Richard spoke quietly but everyone heard. "It was Mr. Henderson. The mortgage debt went into foreclosure. The property was auctioned, the development company purchased it, and Mr. Walker bought it from them. We tried to reach you multiple times but you never returned our calls." Someone whispered, "He humiliated the new owner." Another voice added, "Called him, people like you." James ran his hand slowly across the hood of the blue sedan. "When they told me the car came with the property, it reminded me of my father," he said, his voice steady but heavy with meaning. "He worked as a parking lot attendant his whole life. He knew the name of every car owner but nobody ever knew his name. Today I lean against my own car and I get treated like a criminal." Marcus opened his mouth but no apology seemed big enough. The words simply wouldn't come. "Look, Mr. Henderson," James said, meeting his eyes directly. "I could yell too. I could post this video and destroy your reputation as some important lawyer. But I don't need to." He paused. "It wasn't the car that hurt. It was how quickly you judged me. You didn't even ask my name." If only Marcus had paused to think before he spoke, but regret always comes too late. The woman closed her portfolio. "Regarding the property, you have 30 days to vacate. As for the vehicle, any discussions are now with the owner, Mr. Walker." She stepped back, leaving just the two men in the center of everyone's stares. A few neighbors approached James cautiously. "I'm sorry," an elderly woman offered. "We judged without knowing." He responded simply, "Nobody has to know me. But everybody has to show respect." The words settled over the street like morning dew. Marcus turned and walked toward the house that was no longer his. His stride, once confident and commanding, now seemed weighted with shame. For the first time, there were no compliments for the successful lawyer, no admiring glances. Just silence. James leaned against the blue car again, this time without guilt. He looked at the neighborhood, at the phones finally being lowered, at the embarrassed expressions. "I didn't buy this house to control anyone," he said loud enough for everyone to hear. "I bought it to remember that nobody needs to humiliate someone else to have value. Inside these gates or outside them, everyone deserves to be treated like a human being. The worth of a person isn't in the clothes they wear or the car they drive. It's in how they treat people who can't offer them anything in return. What changes is who owns the car, the house, the title. What should never change is respect." So here's my question for you. What would you do if you witnessed a scene like this in your neighborhood? Would you speak up, stay silent, or just record it for social media? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If this story moved you, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this with someone who needs to hear it. Respect is the bare minimum. And when it's missing, life has a way of putting everyone exactly where they belong.